It happened. Super Bowl Sunday is here. And listen, we learned one thing and one thing only from the Super Bowl. And to my surprise, it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. We learned one thing, that TEMU, and for those of you who are like, wait a minute, the 5 commercials said TEMU. I'm still calling it TEMU, dude. Okay? No matter what the animated commercial says, shop like a billionaire. If TEMU if that commercial was not created by someone who does not live in this country, I don't know what was. It was horrendous. It was terrible. And I mean, we talk about it a little bit further, deeper down into this episode. So be on the lookout for that. But TEMU and Jesus Christ have the same yearly marketing budget. Can you believe it? Can you believe that Jesus has upwards of $20 million to spend on Super Bowl ads? And that's all we can assume, because there's no brought to you by Joel Osteen's church. There's no Church for the Latter-day Saints paid for this. The church that hates the gay people over there, that they didn't pay for it. It just says he gets us, paid in full by Jesus. And so he took over. Listen, it happened last year. We got the Jesus wants us to act like adults, okay? We got the merch. We support the He Gets Us campaign. And this year, to our surprise, we didn't think it could happen again. We got a full-fledged, minute-long, AI-generated picture slideshow He Gets Us ad campaign for the Super Bowl. And if as soon as this didn't turn on everyone's television, the supporters and the kingdom and the fandom came through for this commercial. I mean, listen, seeing Jesus at the Super Bowl this year was like icing on the cake. You thought Taylor Swift was going to take the spotlight. You thought Usher was going to take the spotlight. They're second and third string, babe. When Jesus Christ shows up, he's always number one, okay? He's always number one. And so, we got it a minute long. So for those of you doing the math, I think there might have been two. So a minute in the Super Bowl cost you 15, about $7 million per 30 seconds, 14, call it 15, you might as well, for a minute long AI picture slideshow of presumably what we can assume is us, Jesus, the followers and the helpers, washing the feet of others. And the feet of others, include like a teenager outside of the abortion clinic, an alcoholic, environmental activist, an illegal immigrant, potentially a Black Lives Matter protester, and the best one of them all was, of course, the washing of the feet of the African-American gay trans man, I think is I'm sorry, African-American trans man. It just, so, you know what I mean? Hey, Jesus, I wasn't aware. And for those of you, I had to go back and look. I had to reopen the book, okay? And if you go to Levi or, Leviticus, whatever you want, Levi chapter 4, verse 20, okay, it clearly states, thou shalt spend upwards of $50 million to support the Super Bowl, okay? Listen, we couldn't build a little community of 5 to 10 houses, maybe 20 to 30 tiny houses for those in need, family support, American citizens, the members of the church who, don't have a lot of money and can't really afford food for their children. We didn't want to do anything like that this year. Instead, we told our intern to download and generate, use Dolly and ChatGPT, whatever you got, babe, whatever the free version is. Get us like 5 or 6 really good photos of like depicting Jesus washing the feet of the enemies, okay? Even though most of these people, you know what I mean? The girl at Planned Parenthood, the alcoholic, the gay guy. I mean, listen, These are people we should normally be staying away from. But in the name of Jesus, thou shalt spend, Leviticus chapter 4, verse 20, thou shalt spend their entire marketing budget on the Super Bowl and not anything else. Like, I don't know, what else could we have? Let's think of something here. Here we go. Yep. Oh, isn't that great? Right here it says, children in debt. Pennsylvania, our state alone, let alone the other 49 states, but Pennsylvania alone has 437,340 children in debt because they can't afford school lunches. And you'll never guess what that debt number is. $78,983,604 and some odd cents is exactly what these school districts have tacked on to the children who can't afford their lunch during the day. Look, man, when I was in elementary school, it was 10 cents for the cookie and 10 cents for the carton of milk. And you know what I mean? Unfortunately, nowadays, kids got to have either a packed lunch or they're spending $10 to $20 in the cafeteria. They got to get the tea. They got to get the chips. They got to get the snack for later. They got to get the ice cream bar. These kids are going through puberty. Like, it's fucking insane. They eat everything. And so now the state of Pennsylvania alone almost has half of what Spotify just paid me to take over as the top podcast on their platform versus the Joe Rogan Experience. Almost a quarter of what they paid me to do that. $78 million of children in debt in this country. And we just spent upwards of 30 million. I mean, listen, I know that doesn't put a dent in PA states alone, but I mean, 30 to 50 million on a you could literally buy my entire HOA ran community that has like what, 400 or 500 2 to 3 bedroom townhouses in it. You could probably buy a couple circles here for 30 to 50 million dollars. They're only 150, maybe now with inflation, $250,000 houses. So that's what, 4 per million times, let's say 30. Hello, that's 70 houses that you could do something, the less fortunate. There's an infinite amount of items on this planet that we could have spent this money on, like the good Christians who made this commercial, other than a Super Bowl commercial that then in co-part gives out free merch. You know what I mean? So where's the money coming from? I don't understand it. I don't know why organizations and government entities in this country love sending millions and billions of dollars to the incinerator just to be destroyed by things like proxy wars in other countries and Super Bowl commercials. And like, you know, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. But thank God Jesus is back in the building at the Super Bowl. You thought Taylor showing up was big, babes. This was bigger.